Hello, YouTube. Welcome to this channel. I just want to share with you guys a small video on. I have a 2008 Nissan Versa S. It's a 6-speed manual. I was driving on the road and I alight. My clutch pedal stayed on the floor and it went come up again, and I wasn't able to go into any gears. And when I look under the car, it was leaking transmission oil out of. I'll show you from where. That's the transmission right there. That's the transmission right there. It was leaking oil right about this hole right here. It was leaking gear oil out of there. If you have a car that's similar to mine, I'll show you guys how my motor looks. That way you can see if it looks the same. It's a little messy because we just finished doing this job. So if your car looks similar, let me show you the under. That's the under of the car. If your car looks similar to mine, I'll explain to you how to do it right now. Oh. So pretty much what you want to do first before you do anything to the car, if you have any tools, if you have any parts, anything inside the vehicle, get them out. Because once you take out that battery, it's not gonna open. Like, all the doors are just gonna lock, even if you leave them unlocked, and you're not gonna be able to get anything out of the car. Second, next thing you wanna do is bring it, like, put in jack stands. Put in jack stand, put your wheels under it, make sure you choke your wheels. I have that jack stand right there. Then I have another jack stand right there. Make sure your car it's in park. Make sure your car's in park, and it does. You make sure you put in a gear so it doesn't slide back. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna unhook that cable anyway. So just make sure secure the car. Next thing you want to do, open the hood. You're gonna have your battery, your intake right here. You want to get out your battery, your intake, unplug it. I have an aftermarket intake, so mine's a little different. I just have this one that connects to another hose right here, and it goes down, but it should look some like an earthy intake. Should be a box looking thing that connects to something right around here. Should be something like it connects to this. You want to get that out. You pretty much want to get to these right here, like nothing there. Once after you do that, you want to drain the transmission. The transmission is gonna be the transmission drain plug is gonna be down here. I'll show you my transmission again, just so you can see. Make sure it's the same one that you're working on. That's your transmission mount right here. Drain plugs right here. The only problem that you're gonna run into is that I cannot get anything to fit inside that square. So if you have a socket that goes in there, an extension that goes in there, great. If not, what I had to do, I grab vice pliers and grip the rim and just twist it that way. Just strain your transmission. Once that's strained, you wanna pretty much, let me get up. Get your wheels out in both sides, and then I put them under the car just for extra protection. But you can do whatever you want with yours. On the driver's side, you want to take out the fender plastic that goes around, and then you don't have to do it on the other side. You just have to do it on the driver's side. You want to take out the axle. Take out the axle. If you don't know how to do it, pretty much, you want to take off these two bolts, that one, mark them, so you know pretty much kind of like where your alignment is. Mark them. I like to put like an R, I mean a D, T, or like uh, DB. So like it goes on my bolt like driver's stop, driver's bottom, and then I mark kind of roughly aligned. That way I can put them roughly on the like same specs. I do both. I do the bolt and I do the nut. Um, Make sure you have something supporting on there, or you're gonna have to like lift it yourself. Because once you take those two bolts out, this whole thing is gonna drop. So you want to hold it. You can use a jack stand. You can use wherever you figure out. Um, you need to get the axle nut out. So there's gonna be a cotter pin right here. Grab pliers, like get it out of the way. Then if you haven't unplugged this already, your nut for the axle, you can do it now. You don't have to do it while it's on the floor. Let me show you how. Just grab a there you go. Grab a regular screwdriver, and you want to put it in the slits between your rudder. It's gonna have little indentations in it. In the middle, just slide it in there. That's all you want to do, and not on the top because you. Well, actually, yeah, on the top because you're going. Remember, lefty loosey, right thigh. So if you're going to the left, it's gonna be. You figure that out. Once you get that nut out, take out the axle. While you're here, you can see that thing I'm pointing out right now. There's gonna be a cable connected there. Just regular grounding cable. Unplug that. Now you go to the other side. Oh, and as you can see on the floor right now, we didn't need special tools. This is how we did it. And it took us exactly 2 days to get it done. So, but it was two of us, and we were working non-stop. So, if you want to tackle this project, just keep that in mind. On the other side, you want to take off your cotter pin. I don't have it because I was still working on it. Get the cotter pin out. Get the nut out. Same thing with the bolts. Get the bolts out. Mark them. The axle on this side is different. We're in the passenger side right now. It's a little different. It's held. Let me see if I can point it with my screwdriver. Look at the screwdriver. There's a metal brace right there holding it. That's not the transmission. That's another mount that kind of connects to the engine, and then it goes further back. Let me see. You can see where my screwdriver is right now. That's where it connects to the transmission. So I'll show you how to get that out. Let me get under the car. Also, let me get some better lighting so you can see a little better what I mean. Okay. So now, this plate right here, I'm pointing out, needs to come out. There's 4 bolts. 1, 2, and then there's 2 on the top. Once you take those out, and once your axle's like loose on this side, you took it out from this side, you want to hit with a hammer right here towards the wheel, and it's gonna pop this out of the transmission. Don't pry bar from there where I'm pointing at. That's just a ring. That's just a seal for the transmission. That's just a ring that protects that ring right there, that plastic seal right there. So I messed that up. So don't be me. Once you took those things out, you're pretty much clear to start taking out the transmission. I took out the motor mount next, but before you do that, this is the motor mount right here. This one right here. I mean, not the motor mount, the transmission mount. Sorry, transmission mount. There's 2 of them. There's one on the top. There's this one right here. There's 3 bolts. This one, this one, this one. And make sure before you take that out, make sure you support the engine and the transmission, because at this point, you're already kind of getting it out. Um, Also, once you take that out, if you want to start unscrewing the bell, the transmission bell, there's gonna be, you can barely see it with my light. Sorry, the other one right now, but I'm pointing at it with my screwdriver. That bolt right there, that bolt, and then there's one behind this thing. You can get to it with extension. It's like right behind this bolt. You'll feel it. Then just kind of like follow the bolts all around. This bolt, this bolt, this bolt. Let me go on that side. This bolt, this bolt. That's the bolt. At that point, you're on the starter. Like you should be at the starter now. Um, Also, there's like a little black thing. You'll see it. Let's see if my phone focus. I'm pointing at it with my screwdriver right now. I'm on my screwdriver right now. That should be unplugged already. This is where that hose goes to. But all right, let me get up on top of the engine. Oh, okay. So now on top of the engine, you need to take out your coolant fluid reservoir because you need to get down here to the, you can see that right there, to the starter. That's the starter right here. So there's gonna be two bolts, like one on the top, one on the bottom, and if it's still kind of like stuck to the transmission, you can put something right where my screwdriver is, and kind of like hit, not too hard, put it here and hit right here, or hit right here, and it should separate from the transmission right where my screwdriver is kind of like floating right there. Okay, so you don't have to take it out all the way. You can just kind of like leave it out a little bit. So on top of the transmission, let me pull these wires out of the way. There's a bolt right under this hose. There's, oh yeah, you can see it right there. That bolt right there. Then there's one kind of hidden right there. You can see it a little bit, maybe. Oh, you can see it right there. That black bolt right there. I'm pointing out with my screwdriver. There's no bolts past this point, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but you also have to take these out. This one and this one, this one and this one. It's kind of like a ball. So imagine this is the ball, and then they kind of like hook on the ball, something like that. You can see my hand on my screwdriver. So what you gotta do is you can grab pliers or like a screwdriver, go behind it right here and pop them out. And then same thing with this one, go under it and pop it up. But yeah, it's kind of like you have a ball, like that's the ball, and let me see if I can hold this, explain it a little better. So you have a ball sticking out, and they go kind of like over, something like that, and then you want to go under and pop it out. So those two right there, and then let me show you better. This one, just follow the line. You're gonna see a clip, this clip right here, this clip. Then there should be another one right there, but I haven't put it on there yet because we're still doing this job. So that ball right, that little clip right there, it looks the same as this one. You're gonna see it right where my screwdriver is right now. So you're gonna get those two up and out, like just kind of like pull them up and they'll come out. Just send them to the side. These two lines right here, so this one right here and this one right here, should be able to come out and loose. They're loose from this black bracket right here that I'm pointing at. So that should be the last things that are holding your transmission in place. The only thing that's pretty much holding your transmission in place is this motor mount right here, this mount right here. So there's 3 bolts. This bolt right here, and then there's another bolt right behind it, and that bolt on the top that I'm pointing at, that one right there. So those are pretty much the only three things that are holding your transmission up. So make sure you support it under. I use that jack right there. I put one. I put one like kind of like where the screwdriver is right there, kind of like right there, and then I use the other one on the transmission. I use it on this side because this is the heavy side for some reason. This is the heavy side. This side of the transmission is not some heavy for some reason. So yeah, just is this side. So you can see the separation right here. That's where it separates from. Is in your car, this line it might not even be visible because probably never been done. But you'll see it right here, that line right there, kind of like going with the screwdriver. It's gonna be all the way around, all the way around. Yeah, once you took those out, what I did to separate them, I put my screwdriver. You can see a little slot right here. I used that, and I kind of like went like that, and this whole thing's like separate. I had two problems separating this thing. One, in the back and in the front, there's gonna be bevels. There's kind of like T-posts. Let me show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Sheet right here. So you're gonna have that line that I was just pointing at. It's that line right there. You're gonna have your motor, then you have your transmission on the side. So on the top, in the back, and in the top, you're gonna have a bevel, something like this coming out of the motor side, and it hooks into the transmission side. It's aluminum. You're not gonna be able to unbolt or anything. It's just built into it. So you have to kind of like put a screwdriver in the motor side, just kind of like spray it open like that a little bit, and like that a little bit. You'll see it. What I'm talking about. It's like where the starter is. You'll see it kind of like inside the transmission over the starter. But yeah, you'll see something sticking out. It's in two places. It's back to the engine. So this is my radiator cap. Follow the hose. Right under the hose, you're gonna see that bolt that we were talking about that is hidden under that black right there. Right where that separation is for the transmission. Okay, I'm trying to shine the best I can. Where my screwdriver is pointing, that's around where it is inside, like in the transmission. So right around there, and the one in the back, it's I can try to show it where it's at. So I'm under the car right now. That's the hose that we mentioned earlier. It's higher than that, but you don't have to worry about that one. When you separate from the bottom and you separate up, is that one's gonna separate on its own. If it doesn't, you can grab like a pry bar or a screwdriver or something. Be careful, you don't want to scratch the things going between and just kind of split it. But yeah. Also, the second problem I had dropping this transmission is that the motor mount, the transmission mount on the top is this one right here, that one right there. So it bolts right here, and then there's a bolt right behind it, and then there's a bolt in the middle. This bolt in the middle is the one for your transmission, that one right there. Once these three are unbolted, there's a stud that runs from your transmission up into this hook right here. So when you're dropping the transmission, you don't have enough leverage because that little stud right there hits the frame, and you cannot pull it out. Like you have to find a way. You have to wiggle it. You have to wiggle it a lot to get in there. So what you can do, I'm on the driver's side right now. I'm on the driver's side of the car. Remember that bolt I told you to unplug right here? You right over it. My flashlight is very hard to show, but I'm pointing at it with my screwdriver. That thing right there, you can unplug. You can unbolt it. There's a bolt. You can. It's barely visible right here. Then there's one right here, pointing at it with my screwdriver. And there's one on the top. You should be able to see that one when the transmission's coming down. Um, just get this part out of the way. You should be able to jank this thing down. We use a regular jack, like that thing right there. We use that to pull it down, and then one person on the top. There's a hook. I'll show you. Remember where these lines were? The ones that line right there. Let me pull it back. You can kind of see it from here. Right where my screwdriver is, there's a hole there. You can kind of see my screwdriver going in there. We put a strap, like the hook strap in there, and we pull it out. We went to this tie down right here. We kind of we fed it through here. We put on it. We kind of like hold it with our weight, kind of like wiggling, like getting it down slowly, as we slowly went down with the jack. After that, that's pretty much whatever you gotta do if you want to do your clutch. That's why we did it. The reason why we did this clutch was because this car, I was at a stoplight, and the clutch went all the way to the floor, and it wasn't going to gear at all. It was on, it was just not able to go into gear, and there was a leakage on there, so we had to change it. We had the part, we believe it's this part right here. It comes with the kit. I believe they call it a slave cylinder. But yeah, that's what we took out. And then just do your, whatever you're gonna do. For me, it was this part, the clutch, right here. You are able to do this, the rear main seal, but I didn't need it, and I didn't think it was necessary at the time. So plus my help needed to go, so we didn't do that one. Um, if I need to do it, I'll do it at some point, but I have it. But once you have the belt down, no, let me go under the car. Once you have the belt down, so imagine this whole part right here that I'm pointing at is gone. So this whole part is gonna be gone. You're gonna be able to see your clutch, your pressure plate, and your clutch, and just right behind that is your flywheel and whatever else you need to do to put it back on. God, it was a pain. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a pain to get it up through here. What we did, we put the mount that I told you to unbolt to get it out, because it was catching on the frame with the transmission mount. We put that on first, then we put it on the jack, and we did the same strap method. My guy pulling on it up, and me using the jack to lift up, and then I was also like wiggling it at the same time to try to like align the bolts in the little studs that come out on the top and the back. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a pain to do. It was so annoying to do. But once you get that in, pretty much the whole process is easy. You have to, put your mounts back. Make sure you put all the bolts back, all around. Um, put your axles back in. Connect all the cables on the top. And yeah, just split your clutch, and you should be good after that. So if you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. I'll answer the best I can. All right. Have a nice day.